Hello friends. Welcome back to Wonderfully Made Bible Stories for Children. I'm so glad you're here. Last time, we saw how God protected Elisha and his servant. Even when an enemy army surrounded the city, God was already watching over them. Today, another city will face a different problem. This time, no one can leave. Food becomes harder and harder to find. People begin to lose hope. But God is about to make a promise that seems impossible to believe. Are you ready? Let's jump in. The king of Aram gathered his army. They surrounded the city of Samaria. No one could easily leave. No one could easily bring food into the city. As the days passed, food became very scarce. The people grew hungry. Everyone wondered how long they could survive. The king of Israel was deeply troubled. But Elisha spoke a message from the Lord. He said that by the next day there would be plenty of food in Samaria. One of the king's officers heard this. He did not believe it could happen. The city was surrounded. There was almost no food. How could everything change in just one day? But God's promises do not depend on what seems possible to us. Outside the city were 4 men with a skin disease. They knew they could not stay where they were. So they decided to go toward the camp of the Arameans. When they arrived, the camp was empty. No soldiers. No horses. No commanders. The Lord had caused the Aramean army to hear the sound of many horses and chariots. They thought a great army was coming against them. In fear, they ran away, leaving behind their tents, food, clothing, and supplies. The 4 men found everything just as it had been left. At first, they ate and drank. They even hid some treasures. But then they stopped. They knew they should not keep such good news to themselves. So they hurried back to tell the people in the city. At first, the king wondered if it might be a trap. So he sent men to see what had happened. They returned with the news. The enemy army had truly gone. The people hurried out of the city. There was food. There were supplies. There was more than enough. Everything happened just as the Lord had promised through Elisha. God had kept his word. The officer who had doubted God's promise saw it happen with his own eyes. God's word had proved true. Even when people could not imagine how it could happen, God had already made a way. Let's think about this story together. Why did God's promise seem impossible at first? Who discovered that the enemy camp was empty? Why did the 4 men decide to go back and share the good news? What does this story teach us about trusting God's promises? Sometimes we cannot see how God will help. But God always knows what He is doing. And God always keeps His promises. Thanks for joining me today. Next time, a young boy will become very sick. A mother will make a difficult journey. And once again, we will see that God is faithful, even when His people face hard times. We'll find out next time. Until then, remember, You are wonderfully made. Bye for now.